Getting started. And for those of you who don't know me, we want to welcome the OG Trifecta. My name is Mia Small. I've reached the level of the Organo Sapphire level, and it's a pleasure to see everybody today. And our topic today is branding. So I'm going to go ahead and get my screen sharing. And of course, for those of you who don't necessarily know, but I'm from the Tampa Bay area, and we've got several other people from Florida, Central Florida. We like to call ourselves Central Florida crew.
Yes.
Because not only are we got our group from Tampa, we got people from Florida. And then also, where's your nephew from? James.
Deltona.
Deltona, there you go.
Yes. I don't think he's on the call tonight though.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm getting going, y'all.
That's okay. Take your time.
Screen sharing.
Take your time.
Okay, dokie. On the Organo screen, now on screen share. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. All right. All right. Can y'all see my blue screen or my white screen with the PowerPoint?
We see the.
You can see the branding and the picture.
Beautiful. All right. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get going. Of course, our topic is branding, and get my screen to go. So we're going to focus on ways to brand your business, and we're just going to integrate a little bit of our story, which as a family, we're the small family, and we're just going to talk about what we did to brand our Organo business, which we've now done for like 8 years. And then you can see a few quick little photos here and there on the screen here, but our focus will be how to brand your business, understand your VIP, and we'll talk about what the VIP is, and then we'll just brainstorm and reflect as a group. So the first thing we want to focus on is who will you brand? And I would say we are not branding experts. That's not what we're here to present. But just because we've been in the business 8 years, we will share our journey and our story. So you see our 2 daughters, they're in their age 20s, and my husband, he's also in the business, but again, he's taking care of plumbing issues, major. It's been major. But you can see the shirts that we have on, and I'm actually sporting mine today. And we're going to talk about where we are now and how we got there in branding our business. So based on how you want to brand your business and who you want to show up as a person, you want to focus in on who you are as a person. And here's where we want to talk about ways to define your VIP. Your VIP is all about you, who you are as a person, and the values that you have. What are your core beliefs? What are your values as a person, as a family? What are your strengths? What's your talent? What's your career? Like both of us, my husband and I, we're educators as our profession, but we are now entrepreneurs, multi-level marketers, and small business owners. And that evolution of us as a family and who we are, that's all attributed to coming into the Organo business 8 years ago. So again, you would take the time to define your core beliefs and your values, your strengths, your talents, and the career. And just to hone in on a little bit about our own personal story in terms of talents, we're both educators on the career side, but one of my husband's talents is he's worked in the restaurant industry. And so you'll see how we've been able to shape and brand our business based on some of the talents in his past work history, and the logistics of all of that has evolved to help us grow our business on the retail side. So in terms of your VIP, so that's the V, which is values. Then you want to focus in on branding. You want to focus in on and setting your intentions, like what's your mission? What's your vision? How do you want to show up? You know, I know in the beginning, my husband, it's more his strength. I'm more of a bring customers and people into the business, and I kind of push him over to him to let him be the closer. That's kind of how we played on our strengths as people. But in the beginning, we were doing way more recruiting. But once kind of COVID happened, and prior to that, once we got into the business and our girls were in high school, there he is. Oh, he worked a miracle. He's like taking a deep breath. He's coming in right now. But honey, we're sharing a little bit about our business. But once our girls were in high school, we had just got into the business. And so we were able to start sharing coffee in their school. And that's just kind of led to other things and how we do our business. But we chose to kind of grow the retail side in addition to having customers where we do hand-to-hand sales, box to box. We also do serving coffee by the cup. So we do the retail on that side by serving coffee and tea by the cup. And then the P in the VIP is your perception. The nice thing about when you're branding your business, you get to control the narrative of what you want to focus on and what you want people to see and know about you. So how can you create that perception? You can focus in on a theme. You can identify a specific product. We have like 6 to 7 different verticals that we can hone in on. Like, are you a cosmetologist? We have Candace in our group. She's a cosmetologist. Like, she can focus in on the BU skincare line. Then, of course, my husband, he is great in the restaurant beverage industry. So for us, it's the retail. What if you're really into weight management and your looks and your wellness side on the physical looks? Then you can focus in on those OGX shapes. So again, hone in on one or two of our product services based on the different verticals that Organo brings to the table. And then based on who you are, your strengths and your knowledge, and whatever product or service you want to hone in on, share that knowledge. Be on social media, be face-to-face with coworkers, friends, family, neighbors. Persuade, inform, and entertain. My husband, he's Mr. Entertainment of our family. He's the jokester. But through that joking and building that relationship, people come to us and buy our products. You want to add anything to that? Yeah. Okay, we're going to keep going. So we talked about who will you brand. Now we're going to talk about what will you brand. Again, honing your craft. I'm so grateful that Organo has these different verticals, but I like it to kind of, when it comes to branding, it's a really good idea to hone in on one or two. That way you consistently show up and then you build that knowledge to inform, entertain, share stories, get testimonials. You know how it goes. Stories sell, facts tell. So again, in Organo, I like to call it the 4 B's and a T. We have the beverage product line. We have the body management product line. We have the beauty and skincare through the BU product line. We have the brain and focus product line, as well as the amazing travel, Travala. Honestly, if it were me, I would just hit them all. But if you really want to build a strong brand, it's good to just hone in your focus and pick one or two and just build on that. I don't know if Lolita's on the call right now. But one of the things Lolita's done in rebranding her business is she's focusing in on calling her business. She's now known as the Mushroom Lady. In her inner circle and her circle of influence, they always knew her as like a coffee lady, but now she wants to focus in on, because her inner circle, her circle of influence was focusing in on herbal products and things of that nature. So then she decided, well, our product is herbal. We have the Ganoderma, we have the reishi mushroom. So now she coins herself as the Mushroom Lady. And so now when people's walking past her coffee table, they're like, Mushroom Lady? What herb is that? Tell me more. It will catch and grab your attention. So we're excited to listen to how that grows and evolves for her. So we talked about who to brand. We talked about what to brand. Now we're going to talk about how to brand. I love this quote by Walt Disney. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. I'm putting that on there because I always like to have a moment of transparency. So although we grow our business, and my husband is more of the hands-on, and I know because, you know, we have our colors, the red, the yellows, the blues, and the green. I'm blue. I'm truly blue. I could be squirrely in on one thing, good in it, all in for a good week. And then the next thing comes up and I'm off the topic and on something else. So I'm sharing that just to be transparent, to say, here's where I am, but here's where I need to be. And taking action on these steps will help me to grow my focus, be consistent, because that's an area, although I know what to do, I gotta grow in that. But there's so many ways you can grow, and there's so many ways you can approach this. And for us, as I move on to the next screen, we don't have a super strong visibility on social media. But what we did during COVID, we reached out to JC. Not only is she a Sapphire leader in the business, she's also a part of B&E, which is a business organization, and they help people to get customer referrals and all that kind of stuff. We reached out to her during COVID when everybody was in lockdown. We're like, JC, we need to rebrand our website. Because for us, again, branding is what helps us grow our business. And we need someone with the expertise to help us really secure more, because we focus in on retail, but secure more of that retail opportunity and get our business out there. She gave us a Black business owner. She rebranded our website and redrafted. I would love to show y'all in a second, but she really did a good job. And what she did for us, she did create more visibility for us. We're not as consistent on social media, but for us, she helped us to build up our Google SEO. Everybody's probably familiar with SEO. I'm not going to go into that in a lot of details, but that's where we have a lot of visibility through Google and Google searches here in the Central Florida area. So speaking of how to brand, the first thing we want to highlight these 4 areas. The logo. The first thing you want to think about in building your brand and how to get it there is think about whatever you're going to hone in on. Remember, we talked about looking at our verticals, honing in on 1 or 2 areas based on who you are, based on your strengths, and then you can kind of create a logo. It could be a clip art off of Word. It could be a clip art you search off of Google. Definitely, you wanted to focus in on copywriting, but pixels.com, and I'm going to show you that on another website. Write that down, www.pixels, Pixel.com is a great way to get a logo created, as well as Canva.com. And so for us, we did reach out to someone that was a small business owner, and she helped us design this logo, right? My husband and I kind of put our heads together about what we wanted that logo to look like and represent, and this was the color scheme. So speaking of color scheme, that segues us to the color scheme. So as you see in our shirts and our logos and our graphics on the screen, we stick with a certain color scheme, which is basically staying in the brown, red, white, and black color scheme, or hues, that's the word. So with that said, so for example, taking our logo and putting it against a yellow shirt, staying in our color scheme, we took that same logo, and this same shirt is designed on a red shirt. So we kind of stay within that same color scheme. And so we stay in that same family, no matter whether we do it on correspondence, memos, emails, t-shirts, cups, we stay in that same color scheme. All right, that way you're building a focus. So when people see you staying in a color scheme, one day if it's blue, one day if it's purple, people won't necessarily know, oh yeah, that's you. Just think about McDonald's. They brand, you see those same yellow golden arches wherever you go. Think about Organo, the OG. You might see different color variations, but the O and the G and the way that's designed, you know it's them when you see it. After you think about a logo using the amazing Canva.com, choosing a color scheme that fits you, who you are, what you want to focus in on based on our verticals, then maybe thinking about a slogan or a theme or focus. For example, I know LaDonda is, her and her family, they're big on the Travala travel, and so are we. We're starting to become not only coffee retail gurus, we're starting to become Travala gurus. So we know that Travala platform, upside down, backwards, and forwards. But thinking of a slogan or theme that fits whatever 1 or 2 products you want to hone in on. The Mushroom Lady, etc. Our slogan that we chose, because we do focus on coffee by the cup, is mobile gourmet coffee and tea bar. That's our slogan, and we stick to it in just about everything. And then basically showing up. We'll talk about ways to show up. Moving on to the logo, based on who you are, you want to show up. Define a logo. It doesn't have to be fancy like we have. It could be something simple like initials. It could be simple like something for an acronym that you created. For example, I had the VIP acronym. Just wherever you posted in your emails, your text messages, following up the customers, be consistent. The color scheme, same thing, using Word, PowerPoint, Canva.com. There it is on the screen if you need the screenshot. And Pixels.com. Pixels.com has great graphics that you can get and use for free. And sometimes they want you to credit who the person is, but you're allowed to use those as copyright free. And then whenever you create a slogan, thinking about what your target audience is, what problem you want to solve, which of our verticals you want to highlight, creating a catchy slogan or tagline, post it everywhere, share it everywhere. When you send your text messages, go ahead and put it in, build it into the signature line of your phone, and just have that same little tagline or phrase to come up no matter where, anytime you text, it can automatically come up on your signature line in your emails. Our signature line will come up every time. In our email, our slogan is "Thanks a latte," and it's just built into where the signature line is created automatically. But designing a jingle, a phrase that pays, a little favorite little song that's coffee related or travel related. Those are great ways to create slogans and use it often so people make a connection. When they hear it or see it, they think of you, and that's what we want to do. And then ultimately, show up. How do we want to show up? We want to show up based on our product line by solving a problem, by providing a service. We mostly provide service, but we also have customers where we solve their problems with our different product line, the coffees, the teas, the shakes, the nutraceuticals, the skincare line. Sharing stories from your teammates, stories from your own customers, stories that we see on the Organo platforms. There are different stories out there that we can definitely leverage to share to help solve someone else's problem. And then once you share, of course, we make the products available. We don't need to sell or push them, we make them available. And then I know JC, perhaps Ms. Gaskins, because she's in a college education arena, but one of the things that we've always been taught, when you show up, again, it's the same thing as what we hear in Organo stories. In the educator space, we talk about when you're sharing, you're either persuading, informing, or entertaining. And you can do that on the various social media outlets. The social media outlets where you can continue to brand yourself, you'll see Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. I'm going to pause there because I'm not sure if everybody knows, but Facebook is now kind of the, what's the word I want to say? They have monopolized social media because they bought Instagram from the original creators and founders, and they actually also bought WhatsApp. So when you go on WhatsApp, Facebook, you may see that logo come up, but Facebook owns them as well now. So they own those three. And then of course, YouTube is next to Facebook. YouTube is the second largest social media outlet. And then of course, I put Google because if you can get yourself and your business visible on Google SEO, that's very helpful. Beyond network marketing, of course, and then other things like TikTok and Snapchat. And I like to think, like, I know Miss Lolita and Miss Odonda, they are great when it comes to TikTok. So I can learn some lessons from them in the TikTok space. But I've actually leveraged in terms of video more the Instagram Reels, but mixing it up and matching it a little bit is a great way to brand your business. And that brings us to the end. And we'll open the floor for any Q&A or any questions. And honey, do you want to add anything?
No.
He's like, no. We had a rough day here.
No, not me, but no.
Yes. But that brings us to the close, and we'll open the floor.
Oh, excellent presentation.